Starting construction in 1953 and completing construction in 1958, the Seagram building is considered a beautiful link between the international style, of which it is a prime example, and the modernist use of materials. Designed by Mies van der Rohe in conjunction with Philip Johnson, the building was originally commissioned by the spirits company Joseph E. Seagram and Sons. Still to this day, it is considered a prime example of the international office building aesthetic. The international style of architecture can be defined as structures which are characterized by simple geometric forms, large untextured, often white surfaces, large areas of glass, and general use of steel or reinforced concrete construction. Additionally, all ornamentation has been relegated to expressing structure and function. Completing construction in 1968, Kevin Roche and John Dinkeloo have created a building which is the very definition of modernist architecture. The carefully considered materiality adds to the experience given to anyone who finds themselves lucky enough to wander in the doors to visit the public atrium. Weathering steel spans greater than 80 feet of airspace and rests on heavy granite-faced columns of steel-reinforced concrete. In precedent, the atrium matches the slope and condition of the neighboring Tudor city greens while creating its own precedent-setting construction. Analytically focused, modernism looked to solve the issue of supporting function as top priority in the hierarchy of building. Many say that modernism was created out of the machine age, a place where designers, architects, machinists, and engineers were still testing the extent of new materials or old materials in new uses. Following the international style, ornamentation was never to be considered outside the realm of expressive structure. Steel connections were to be celebrated. Heavy slabs of concrete and granite were to express their greatest assets under compressive strength. Never would you find a piece of brittle terracotta or ornately shaped wrought iron as was found in Art Nouveau. That would be reprehensible. At 375 Park Avenue, the Seagram building facade gives away its heritage. The smooth, coated glass face of the building is set between structural expression of vertical mullions and simple horizontal spandrels. It's set back from the street edge by a slab of light and dark gray granite which creates a public plaza. This muted and simple color scheme is staying in line with expectations for the international style. Van der Rohe took this further and completed what is known as the Mies corner on the edges of the building, so as to go one step further to express structure, and to give the facade the appearance of disconnection. One of the core tenets of modernism is the use and expression of structural materials in creative and new ways, or to take a means or method used in another manner and manipulate it into the structure of architecture. This is exactly what happens at the Ford Foundation building. Weathered steel is suspended across the great span of the atrium as if it were a bridge spanning a valley. The pink granite and reddish hue of the steel's surface rust blend well, but stand out against the greenery located within. The interest of the atrium structure is well met by the eccentric shape of the office building, which also feels as though as a part of this atrium, shaped like a large C, the offices and passageways contained in the building proper are exposed to the public inhabiting the greenery below. Both of these buildings have a very distinct take on inviting the public to be a part of the ensemble. While the Ford Foundation pulls you inside, the Seagram building takes a step back from the street, effectively giving back its footprint to the passerby. In this public outdoor lobby, the design is such of a plinth that the building sits upon, with recessed reflecting ponds and human-scale seating areas made of granite. This dark granite and smooth water find their equals in the treatment of the building that rises immediately from their surfaces, giving the patron a sense of continuity from outside to within the building. The construction of the Ford Foundation atrium gives the user a sense of connection as well. As discussed earlier, the private spaces are visually connected to the public arena. Rather than a platform on which the building sits, the public space is a meandering path along tiers of plantings leading down to a singular pool of water at the lowest level. This both connects you to your surrounding and also allows you to escape from the city right outside the doors. The aesthetic grandeur of these two buildings has a tendency to overwhelm the individual. Mies's building looms tall and highly vertical over the pedestrian below. The bronze mullions, expressed for what seems like a mile vertically, transform abruptly into stout, almost sentry-like columns, which raise the ceiling of the ground floor to heights that greatly surpass the connection of a standard enclosure. while Roche and Dinkaloo create an experience where the individual senses the greatness of the space found within through amazingly oversized entryways that are accentuated by enormous granite-clad columns which extend far beyond the glass curtain wall enclosure. The approach to either building has a wonderfully sobering effect on anyone that comes near. While the buildings themselves stand tall against a human scale, the experiential quality for the individual is maintained through intimate moments and tactility of the chosen materials. Granite finds its edges smoothed with use, weathered steel has an almost suede-like touch, brick pavers give a solid yet earthy feeling through the feet. As can be seen, these choices are what gives these buildings the power to attract crowds and encourage an interaction of space and experience.